Hello and welcome to Just Be Gaming. Oh my god, this has been in the works for almost ever, and in that time, I think some of the cards ended up getting changed. A new expansion came out for which I haven't covered in this. I'm gonna have to put out a different video for that. But it's finally here. I'm gonna make a Sunforge card tier list for Dawncaster. And what better way to start than with my all-time favorite class in the whole game, the Seeker. Love the Seeker, probably my most played class, most favorite class. So we're going to start with the Seeker. And this is going to be a little bit of a strange tier list, as you can see by my tiers here. I have an always pick, an almost always pick, a situational, and then A, B, C, D, and then like absolutely never pick. So those are cards that are just like, just don't pick them. Like they will probably lose you the game. So yeah. But before I continue, I want to explain how I play the Sunforge. I believe there are three pillars in the Sunforge that you must adhere to, and I've said this before. So the first pillar is mitigation. So mitigation, what do I mean by mitigation? I mean damage mitigation in the form, you like mitigating damage. Any incoming damage, you want to mitigate that. Damage mitigation, you want healing, armor, barrier, even what is it? Frozen. Even frozen can be considered mitigation. Those are the mitigation. I'd put healing probably at the top because it's really good. Armor is extremely good because it can't really be negated unless like it's a really big hit that like just breaks the armor. Like barrier is good, but in the Sunforge, a lot of enemies have buff removal, so that's not that great. Those buffs are going to get removed. So you want healing, probably is the main one. The second pillar is card draw. You want card draw. Card draw is very important. The faster you can cycle through your deck and get to good cards, the faster you're likely to win. So the faster you're likely to get to your good cards, and you can breeze through your bad cards, which unfortunately it's a Sunforge. You're gonna be drafting some bad cards at some point, I'm sure. And then the last one is synergy. So what do I mean by synergy? Synergy, I mean, usually how I build my Sunforge deck is the first thing you choose is your basic weapon. And I use that as my blueprint for how I'm going to build my deck. Obviously, I don't do that all the time, because I like to have fun and I want to try different things. So sometimes if I get like a warrior weapon, sometimes I might try to play it as like a seeker. I might try to play it as a knight, or I might try to play it as something else. So I don't always follow that, but synergy is important. So if you're building, say you're building a perform deck, you're going to want to synergize and choose cards that enable your performances, or just cards that have perform on it. You're not going to want to choose like necessarily say like a lot of poison if that's not how you're building your perform deck, because I know there are some poison perform synergistic cards, but so maybe that wasn't the best example, but you mainly want to do synergy. So maybe I should have gone with Knight, since he has so many different archetypes. If you're making, say, like, if you're trying to make a corruption Knight, which you probably shouldn't try to make anything in the Sunforge, you just let the cards do it, but say you want, for whatever reason, you want a Corruption Knight, you want to choose cards that are going to synergize with that. You're not going to say choose like holy cards for it. So that's what I mean by that. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's get to the actual Seeker tier list. So we're gonna start with the uncommon cards. I have the basic attacks, but we'll get into that last. I think the cards are probably maybe a little bit more interesting. Okay, so we're gonna start off here with Agile Mind. Probably, honestly, for a common, this card is absolutely bonkers. This card is so good. Yeah, this card is just it's simply an amazing card. This is easily an always pick, even before I get into what the card does. So you can choose one. You can gain 1 green energy and an evasion, gain 1 blue energy and gain focus, and if this card is memorized, you gain both. Boom. If you're in Sunforge, you'll easily be able to memorize this. This card is simply amazing. It's free damage mitigation because, let's face it, you're pretty much always going to choose evasion. So yeah, and if you memorize it, you get both. Easily an always pick. Always pick this card because you get so much value. It's a free evasion. If you memorize it, it's even better than free. It generates you energy and it gives you evasion and focus. Like it's just a absolutely phenomenal card. Absolutely phenomenal. Next, we have Any Form Claw. So I know there are. So we got what does it do? It deals 3 damage, and then you can transform the next non-Any-Form claw card you play into an Any-Form Claw, and if you discard it, it deals a base 3 damage. But that scales. Like you can increase it with certain talents. So like duplicity. If you want to build an Any-Form Claw deck, you pretty much need the talent duplicity. So I'm an outlier. I know there's a lot of people that love Any-Form Claw, and Any-Form Claw shenanigans can be fun in the story mode of the game. In Sunforge, even with the right talents, I don't like Any-Form Claw pretty much at all. Even if you end up copying with duplicity, you end up copying like the highest damage dealing Any-Form Claw you have, it doesn't, I find it doesn't end up dealing enough damage. It doesn't deal enough damage, I find. It will easily take you through the first and maybe second ring of the Sunforge. Even the third ring, it'll probably take you through. You might have a difficult time with the last boss. But by the fourth ring, you're completely toast. This won't be able to pull it. So for me, I never pick this card. I don't like it for the Sunforge. Next, we have Center Self. And Center Self is 1 energy, gain 3 focus, draw 1 card. Not insane value. You get to, draw 1 card, cost 1 energy. That's kind of like the standard throughout the game. You'll notice, like, most of the time, like, common draw cards are going to cost 1 most of the time. But this game gives you 3 focus as well, which, focus isn't too bad. What does it do? It increases your hand size or how many cards you draw. I forget I think it's your hand size. I forget what it is now. It's been a while. But it's good, especially with Seeker. Seeker has a lot of synergies with focus. So for me, it's not amazing. It does give you the card draw, which I like. For me, it's a solid B. It's a solid B. I wouldn't pick it over like some other common cards, to be completely honest, but it's a solid B. Next, we have Cloak of Sand. There we go. So it's a free card, which is beautiful. So it's free to gain swiftness, gain 2 momentum, reset your ambush. I like this card. It's free, so right there, it has a lot going for it. It is a situational card. It's great with certain talents and builds, but if you don't have evasion, you're not getting any benefit from swiftness. If you don't have momentum, or like a momentum generator like Triglaive or even the Surge Stone, you're not going to get a whole lot of value out of that because it's going to take at least 3 Cloak of Sands to gain that card draw from the 5 momentum. And if you don't have any ambush cards, the reset your ambush isn't going to do anything for you either. But most of the time with Seeker, you're going to have at least one of those things. You'll probably have at least one. So since it's free and you're likely going to have one of those, I do like this card, and I place it as a solid A. It's a solid A card. Yeah. All right, next we have Conjure Arrow. It's another free card, and free cards should be good. And this card can situationally be very good. Like you could get, oh, good, right, yeah. So what it does exactly what the card is called. It conjures a random arrow, and the different arrows are, there's like a fire arrow, a poison arrow, an arcane arrow that dispels. There's a charm arrow that applies, I think it's like 2 or 3 charm, a frost arrow, and a stun arrow, which is probably like one of the best ones. But anyway, so it can conjure a random arrow, and it can be situationally really good, like getting a money arcane arrow when you need it, like say against Gorn or the Behemoth. Now the Behemoth, he can be a monster if you aren't building for him. You need to have blessing removal for the Behemoth. But honestly, more often than not, you are likely going to get an arrow that you don't need, or like is just like, 3, it's going to give you like 3 damage or something. Sure, it's free, but you will most likely have a better card to choose in the draft. But if you don't, sure, I guess you can take this one, but it's too situational, too much randomness that you're likely not gonna get what you need when you want it. So for me, I consider this a D. It's a D. So next we have Dervish. Like I said, since I've made this, a lot has changed, I think, since I wrote like my ideas down for the cards and everything. A lot has changed. There's a new card pack which I don't have enough experience with it yet, that I'm confident to make a tier list for those cards. I've played with these cards so much that I'm very confident in my tier list making ability for them. Once I get more experience with the other ones, I'll probably make a new list just with those. But okay, so we have Dervish. Dervish for 2 energy, make a basic attack, and then repeat for every stack of momentum. So this card has a few issues. You can only have a maximum of 4 momentum. So once you hit 5 momentum, it rolls over and you go back to like where the momentum gets removed and you have nothing. So you can only have a maximum of 4 momentum. So that's really only going to be 4 extra basic attacks. And this is really only good with a few basic attacks, and it really shines with some other ones. So like Quarterstaff, it's great with. The Triglaive, it's really good with, since Triglaive gives momentum on hit. Shamshir, it's really good. Shredder Axe actually too could be an interesting one. But unfortunately, I don't believe this card works with forms. Moonclaws are kind of completely out, because anytime it's make a basic attack, you're not making like the Ravenclaw attack, you're just making the basic like Moonclaw attack, which is unfortunate because it would be cool. And Seer's Orbs are just okay with it, since it's only ever going to play the basic 3 Doom Seer Orb. It's never going to play more than that. in my opinion, it's just okay. It costs a little bit too much for like what's going to be like a handful of extra damage. So for me, I'm going to give it a B. Situationally a B if you have good basic attacks that work with it. But otherwise, I'd probably pass it up. Next, we have Desert Rush. I find that the desktop version of this app has a little bit of issues, but that's fine. It works. So Desert Rush for 1 energy, foretell 3, and foretell is increased by your focus. So I think it's 6 focus increases it. And then you gain momentum for each card foretold, and it's free while agile. Whoops. So it's pretty good. It's a pretty good card, but it is situational. It's very situational. If you're doing a foretell type deck, it's an easy choice. If you're doing a momentum build, momentum type of deck, also easy choice. And if you can reliably always make this free with evasion, it might be a good choice too. But otherwise, you might want to skip it. Foretell is a good mechanic, and I like Foretell. Oh, what? Did I miss something? Why is there one here? Oh well, I'll get to that anyway. I forget what card it's called. Cosmic something. Anyway, yeah, it can be good. Can be good. But I don't know. For me, it's a C. It's a C. It's Foretell can be good, but since it's not going to do anything that you need like right now, and in the Sunforge you kind of want to be able to get through the fight almost as quickly as possible. The longer you take to win a fight, the more likely you are to take damage and potentially die. So next we have Dragon Kick. And Dragon Kick is a pretty fun card. So for 1 energy, you deal base 4 damage and inflict shocked. I believe it's a base 5 shocked, and it's reduced by 1 each turn this is in your hand, and it has persistent. So this card is fantastic if, and it's a big if you have Majestic Mind, or better yet, a bunch of them. And I mean like a bunch. Because being able to stun is very strong, and it is essentially damage mitigation, because you're stunning the enemy for a turn. They're not going to be able to do anything, so you're negating an entire turn of damage. So it's essentially damage mitigation. Though without Majestic Mind, you are waiting 5 whole turns before this truly comes online. It's not a bad pick if you don't have Majestic Mind. It just won't shine. So you'll have to, like I said, you'll have to wait, because it'll put 5 shocked on them, and then that shocked counter goes down every time you take a turn. So that's 5 whole turns of the enemy potentially dealing a lot of damage, potentially you even ending the fight. That it's not even gonna go online. You're gonna take damage. So it's situationally really, really good, but it needs Majestic Mind. So this is like a low C, high D card. I'll put it in C, but realistically, without Majestic Mind, it's low C, low D. With Majestic Mind, it's easily like an A. Next is Dragon Punch. Dragon Punch. So, Dragon Punch, another one of those persistent cards that scales with start of turn mechanics. Costs 1 energy, deal a base of 1 damage twice, but at the start of your turn, you increase the damage by your focus, and it's obviously persistent. So this card is dope. I really like the start of turn mechanic cards for the Seeker. A lot of them are like really good, and Dragon Punch scales insanely well. And since the Seeker is generally a focus generating machine for the most part, I mean, there is a downside to it, and your focus can get dispelled, but if this is in your hand and you already have that focus and at the start of turn, it retains that damage bonus from it. It doesn't lose it just because you've lost the focus. So it's nice. And if you aren't fighting someone that can remove your focus and you're able to scale that focus before they can remove it, it'll slowly build, and even once, like, it's a good, it'll be good. It has flaws, but this is a game-winning card. If you can stall out a little bit, build your focus a little bit, even if you have a majestic mind, even better. This card is easily a low A, high B. But I'd probably, if you have a majestic mind, I'd almost even put it in like always pick. So next we have Flashing Fists. So Flashing Fists, this is a situational card. If you are going a basic attack heavy build and you have a lot of evasion, this quickly gets big. But if you don't have evasion, this is essentially a dead card and it's not going to do anything for you. So I'm going to say this is situational. It's good, but you really need to have the right synergy to make it work. If you don't have, if you're not planning on like maybe copying some basic attacks to your deck, or like cycling through your deck to get those basic attacks, and you don't have evasion, it's just not going to do anything for you. So for me, this is a situational card. Next, Fur Hide. I am probably biased. I am a big fan of the Druid archetype, which is probably why the Seeker is my favorite class, because it's the closest thing to a Druid that this game has. Fur Hide. So what it does: gain 3 armor, shift into the form of bear, and if you play this while you're already in the form of bear, you gain 2 anger. Pretty dope. And the form of the bear, what it does is it at the start of your turn you gain 3 health, and whenever you discard a card, you gain 3 armor. And it's channeled, so that means you need to have 1 energy at the end of your turn. Otherwise it'll fall off. So if you spend all your energy, you won't have form of the bear and you won't get that 3 health at the start of your next turn. This is easily the Seeker's best animal form for the Sunforge. It has damage mitigation in the form of healing. It has armor generation for when you discard your hand at the end of your turn. It has channel for certain synergies, for certain talent synergies. It has anger generation. It's simply amazing. The only downside, I would say, is it costs a lot to play. It's 2 energy. That's a hefty price tag. But honestly, since the Seeker struggles with healing, and sure, 3 healing at the start of your turn isn't that much, but it does add up, especially because you gain armor when you discard a card, which means when you, like, at the end of your turn, if you have a bunch of cards in your hand and you discard them, that all turns into armor, and it allows you to heal up more and more and more because you're probably not going to be taking that much damage. So this card is easily an almost always pick. I'd even probably bump it up to an always pick, but you don't always want channel effects depending on what you're going with. I might bump this up to always pick, but I'll keep it at almost always pick for now. It's such a good card. All right, next we have Gaze into the Beyond. So this is an interesting card. I don't really know how to rank this card. It's not great. It's not good. It's not terrible. But it can allow you to get a lot of focus if you have a foretell deck build. And if that's what you want, that's what this card will do. It'll allow you to foretell more stuff. So it's a situational card, 100%. It's free, but if you don't need focus, like, there's probably better common cards that you can pick. Like, I wouldn't be picking this card over, say, Agile Mind, or even if I was going a foretell build, Even if I was going a foretell deck or a focus deck, I'd probably not probably, I would still pick Agile Mind over this because it's just okay. It's situational. It's a situational card. Next we got Harmony. So Harmony costs 1 energy, draw a card, and gain 1 energy for each effect you are channeling. So this goes back to what I was saying with Fur Hide. Channeling effects can be absolutely great. So Harmony, this would be probably one of the easiest always pick cards if it wasn't for the fact that you need to be channeling for this card to work. The good thing is that the Seeker has a ton of channeling cards, and a lot of them are honestly very, very good. So you can easily be channeling like 3 to 5 channeling cards, and with this, you just turn into a steamroll machine. You can easily draw 3 to 5 cards, and you gain that energy back on top of being able, like, so you're drawing these cards, gaining energy back, having energy to play the cards that you just drew, like and if you duplicate harmonies and you're just drawing more, you easily get into a situation where you are just steamrolling out of control. So this would easily be an always pick, if not for the fact that it needs to be channeling. So if you see it in the draft early on and you don't have any channeling mechanics, and then you pick it and then you don't get any channeling card choices, then it's essentially a dead card that you'll have to remove. But if you get it like a little bit later on, and even if you have like 1 channeling mechanic, I would still pick this card. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's definitely an almost always pick card 100% of the time. Next we got Karma Strike. This card is 1 energy, discard a card, make a basic attack equal to the card's energy cost. This card is so close to a never pick, honestly. It has some situational synergistic use, but if you have big cost cards that you can't play, then you likely shouldn't have picked them in the first place. Like, if you have big cost cards, you'll probably want to play them, not discard them, to play a basic attack like 3 times or 4 times. You know what I mean? Those big cards should be played rather than discarded. This can be good with Burst of Karma and Shurikens, right? And Illusionary Arms, because they can stack off of each other very nicely, especially if you can like pump up Burst of Karma's damage. But there are just better choices if you're going for that kind of a deck. So I'm going to put this B. It's not a never pick. It does have situational use, but for me, it's easily not very good, so I'm giving it a D. Next, we got Pierce the Veil, which is a fun card. So it's 1 energy, foretell 3, draw a card for each basic attack you reveal. Not bad. Unfortunately, in the Sunforge, unless you're copying basic attacks, you're only ever going to be drawing 2 cards at max. Again, unless you copy your basic attacks, which you could probably copy better cards, just to be clear. It's great with the Seer's Orb deck or other foretell shenanigans, but there are better foretell cards for sure. It's still good, but it's a situational B at best. Where is Pierce the Veil here? Oh no, oh, I see. Oh, it's right there. Gotcha. All right. Oh wait, is that Karma Strike? Yeah. I'm all lost now. I didn't realize it was going to do that. Can I do this a bit more? No, I lost the search bar. Okay, Pierce the Veil. What did I say? C. Okay. Next, we got Profess. So for 1 energy, conjure 3 prophetic bolts into your deck, then foretell 2. scaled by your focus. So I'm not a huge fan of this card, to be completely honest. It's very little foretell, and the prophetic bolts end up cluttering your deck. So unless you're building like a prophetic bolt or doom deck, or a foretell prophetic bolt doom deck, it's honestly just not that great. And more often than not, you will only be able to foretell those conjured prophetic bolts once. Like you'll only be able to foretell them once, and then the damage will just be like laughably low. I think maybe like 5 or 8 at best. It's just like it's not my favorite. It does have some situational use, but for me it's easily a C tier. Without a foretell deck though, this is easily a D. Prophetic bolt. My bad. Skipped one. Okay, so for 1 energy, deal 3 damage and inflict doom equal to the damage dealt. When this is foretold, you can add 5 damage to it. This is better than Profess because this at least stays in your deck. So the damage can stack up as long as you have foretell. Without foretell, this card is 3 damage and 3 doom, which is just laughable. Yeah, because with the conjured prophetic bolts from Profess, as soon as you play them, they get taken out of your deck, so you can't stack up that damage. With this, if you have a foretell deck, you can at least keep stacking up that damage for that fight, if you can reliably foretell it a bunch. For that reason, it is better than Profess. So I'm going to put this in B. All right, now Replication. Replication, 1 energy, start a turn, summon a clone, channel. Great card. It's situational though. Good if you're going for clones, or good if you need channel abilities for harmony, to build up harmony. You don't always want clones. They're not always useful. A lot of the time, it's not going to do too much for you unless you're building for a clone deck. If you're not building for a clone deck, it's not going to do much. So for me, it's situational. If you have a clone deck or going a clone deck, yeah, pick it for sure. But it's situational. It's you're not going to want to pick this all the time. It's just a situational pick. Riptide. All right. So, Riptide. 1 energy, draw 3 cards. Ooh, very nice. But discard any cards that are not persistent. So, draw 3 cards for 1 energy sounds absolutely phenomenal. But honestly, this card is just not good. If you need a Seeker card that has persistent on it, you don't likely need it that turn. You'll likely need it in your hand to have in a few turns. Unless you're doing some shenanigans to give persistent to certain cards, even then, I just don't see the merit of this card except to cycle through your deck faster, which does have good value, but you'll more likely than not end up discarding like an important card that you want to use and that you didn't want to cycle through. So for me, this is a never pick. I don't like it, and the few times that I do use it or have tried to use it, it just hasn't it hasn't clicked. It didn't shine, it didn't shine for me. So I just never pick it anymore. Sandblast next. So it's free, deal 3 damage that can be upgraded, and if it's agile, if you have agile, you gain 3 momentum and interrupt. Not bad. Not bad for a free card, honestly. And I think it's maybe the only Seeker card with interrupt. It has the agile caveat on that. I think it's the only Seeker card with interrupt. I could be wrong, but it's not the best. Like, I'd pick a different card if there's better choices. If the other choices aren't great, I'd probably pick this then. It's a C. It's a C. Next, we got Sand Nova. Nova. All right, so for 1 energy, make a basic attack and repeat for each other type of Nova you played this combat. And there's a handful of different Nova cards, but it's situational. Without Nova cards, or if you're not playing a Nova type deck, even if you have like the blue Nova, the green Nova, and the Seeker Nova, which is this one, it's really only going to be what, like 3 extra basic attacks. It's situational. There are some fun shenanigans you can do it with a knight deck that's building Nova, but for Seeker, it's situational at best. I wouldn't pick this ever unless I was going for a Nova deck, and because of that, it's situational. Because if you are building a Nova deck, you're gonna want all the Novas you can get. So it's situational for that reason. All right, Sand Shroud. Gain for 1 energy, gain 1 evasion. If you have 3 or more momentum, gain swiftness. Fantastic. It's evasion with the potential to have swiftness. I can't overstate how valuable damage mitigation is for Seeker. Well, I mean, for everyone, really, but Seeker has so few options for healing or damage mitigation that it can't be understated how important it is. And if you have 3 momentum and then you gain swiftness, this card, Sand Shroud, always pick. Easily always pick. Next, we got Shred. So, 1 energy, deal 3 damage that can be upgraded, shift into the form of the cat. If you're in the form of the cat, your next attack inflicts a critical hit. So, pretty good. Form of the cat, at the start of your turn, you play Lay in Wait, which I believe makes your next attack critically hit, and you gain evasion. So, at the start of your turn, you gain a free evasion and a free critical hit. And when you discard your hand, you gain haste. So very nice. Very, very nice. I like Druid builds in games. I said that. And that's definitely what drew me to the Seeker initially. And cat form is pretty damn good. I don't think it's better than bear form, but it's very close. You get a free evasion. You get a free critical hit. It's a solid, almost always pick, simply for the fact you gain the evasion. It's not better than Furhide. It's honestly, it's probably an A, but this I think would also be an almost always pick because it's really good. Next, we got Sight Beyond. Sight Beyond. So for 1 energy, draw 2 cards, then put a card from your hand on top of your deck. It's not bad. It's not a bad card by any means. I just think there are better card draw options. If you don't have any other card draw options in your deck, I'd pick this. Otherwise, I'd rely on the other options you have because they are likely better. I like this because you can put... It doesn't have to be one of the 2 cards you draw that you put on the top of your deck. It could be another card. It just essentially means you can get rid of a crummy card now to potentially get a good card that you'd rather play instead. So it can be good, but like I said, there are better card draw options. This is easily a B, C. I'll give it a B because it's card draw. Next, we got Skill Shot. I forget what... I'm definitely missing some cards here. I'll go... Like I said, I'll go back. I forget what these ones are called. I must have skipped them by accident. Yeah, I must have skipped over them by accident. Anyway, Skill Shot. Free, Foretell 3, and your next ranged attack is critical, and then you gain barrier for each damage it's dealt. I actually really like this card. It's free, it lets you foretell, and it gives your next ranged attack a critical hit. It has to be ranged. And it gives you barrier. So that's great. And it's free. Did I mention it's free? It's situational because you do need to have a ranged attack to get the full value out of it. But if you're going a foretell build, this is still a good choice, an easy choice, because it's free. It's a really strong card because of those two facts, but it is a situational card. So because of that, I'm putting it in the situational area. But it's like easily like a top situational card, like A for sure. Next, we got Stardart. So it's free, deal 3 damage, and it can be upgraded. On hit, you have a very small chance to create a revelation, and the chance improves with each Stardart you play, but you can only get 1 revelation per combat. So it's unbelievably situational, Stardart. I would probably never pick this unless I was trying to force a Stardart build. I'd easily never pick this unless I was going for a Stardart build. Let me say that again. Because even the Revelations, which are very good cards, have their own very big downsides. A lot of them, not all of them, a lot of them cost so much focus to play. And if you aren't building focus, or you don't have some way to generate a lot of focus, those Revelations are just dead cards that are now filling up your hand. So unless I was building for a Stardart deck that I know I'm going to be able to get focus, I know I'm going to be able to play those Revelations, this is just not a card I would pick. It's situational, since you can use it in certain situations. But realistically, I'd probably never pick this card. Next, we got Starfall. So, 1 energy, start of the turn, conjure Stardart, channel. Again, I'd never pick this card unless I'm trying to force a Stardart build, or I need or want another channel engine for my Harmony pick. So this is another situational card. Yeah, I'd likely never pick it again, but it's situational. If I have Harmony, I'm going to probably pick it just for the channel. But yeah. So, Water Shaping. Our next card, Water Shaping. I don't know if this is in the game anymore. And if it is, they changed it. I don't know if this is in the game anymore. I can't remember the last time I saw it. I don't think it is in the game. I'm really not sure if it's in the game anymore. So the base card of it is for 1 energy, summon a clone, and it's persistent. And then when the tide changes, for 3 energy, you can summon 4 clones. It's situational. If you have a clone deck, it's good. There's better clone cards. I probably wouldn't pick it over some of the other good clone cards. I don't think you can pick this in the Sunforge anymore. I can't remember the last time I saw it, honestly. Yeah, I'll say it's situational though. Water Wall, another situational card. Like I said, I think I said this at the beginning, a lot of the cards are going to be situational because they require synergies to play them. And if you have those synergies, they are great. But if you don't have those synergies, then you're not going to want to play them, which is why they're situational. You're not going to want to pick them. So if you're building a clone deck, this is easily an always pick. For 1 energy, during your foe's next turn, you reduce the incoming damage equal to your clones. So if you're building a clone deck, you can mitigate almost all of their damage if you have enough clones and you have the advanced clones talent that allows your clones not to be removed when you take damage. Easily and always pick with a clone deck. Easily. But if you don't have a clone deck, you're not going to want this because it's not going to do anything for you. That's why I'm saying it's situational. but easily an always pick in a clone deck. Easily always a pick, because you're going to be mitigating so much damage. Next, we got Whirlpool. So for 2 energy, inflict 3 drowning, and then Tidal, inflict this card's drowning. Persistent. Pretty fun. There's a lot of shenanigans you can do with drowning. I wish there were more drowning cards. There's not enough drowning cards to make drowning truly shine, and if you really want it to shine, you're going to have to turn off certain card packs. And the way I play Sunforge is I like keeping all the card packs on. I played the game so much that now I don't even re-roll. I just do no re-rolls all the time, just to make it even that much harder for me. But when I first started playing, I mean, the Sunforge changed completely since I first started playing. But either way, it's not an amazing card. It's just okay. It's guaranteed damage and frozen on a card that you don't even have to play. So you don't even have to play the 2 energy to get its drowning effect. But it's not amazing. It's easily, like, it might be A, honestly, but it's more likely a B. It might be an A. But the fact that it's only going to apply 3 frozen is easily removed by the enemy. So I don't know. It's hard to say. I missed 2 cards here. I think it's Mind Sight and Mind Strike. I don't know how I missed those. No. Mind Sight. Okay, I missed these 2 cards. I'll go back to them. And then that's it for the common cards. Mind Sight. 1 energy, discard a card, gain focus, and blue energy equal to its total energy cost. It can be good with upgraded shurikens, but there are better choices for that. Like in a discard deck, it can be okay, but it'll mainly want to be shurikens, but it's just not great. It's a D. It's a D for me. And I believe Mind Strike suffers the same issues. So let's go take a look. So for 1 energy, discard a card, then make 2 basic attacks, gain 1 focus. Not terrible. But it's like Mind Sight's older brother. There's like, what's that meme? It's like Daniel and the cooler Daniel. This is like Mind Sight and the cooler Mind Sight. It's a better choice in almost every way than Mind Sight. The only thing, you don't get the energy back that you do with Mind Sight, and instead you make 2 extra basic attacks, and you gain a focus. It's hard to say. They're both not great cards, but I do think this one is better than Mind Sight. It's probably a D as well, but I'll give it a C. What card is this? Isn't that an uncommon card? Okay, no, it's not. Cosmic Guidance. We missed one. Cosmic Guidance. Don't know how I missed that. So choose one. Your next Star Dart this turn gains Life Drain, or shuffle your discard pile into your deck and draw a card. Not terrible, not great. At least if you don't have a Star Dart type deck, you can still gain value out of it. So that's nice. It allows you to shuffle your discard pile into your deck and draw a card. I think I missed this when I was creating my initial list. My initial thought is that it's situational because of the Star Dart, but maybe like a B or C because of the shuffle your discard pile into your deck and draw a card for 1 card or 1 energy. I'm gonna go ahead and say this is probably a D. I don't pick this much. Yeah,